Hi, it's Alaska Granny. No matter how you feel about the Russia-Ukraine war or invasion, it threatens the global wheat supply. Both nations are major suppliers of grains and vegetable oil. Key ports are shut down, vessel movements are blocked, and the supply disruption could further exacerbate food inflation and shortages. What can you do to make sure that you can find the bread that you want? When you're first shopping for bread, if you don't see the actual bread you do want, maybe you can find a different brand, a different kind. Get some bagels, English muffins. Maybe you can even find some gluten-free bread. Be creative, look around the store, search it out like a scavenger hunt when you're looking for the things that you want.
First of all, if you can find the bread that you want, make sure that you make it last as long as possible. If you want to freeze bread, open the wrapper, insert a paper towel, then squeeze the air back out, close it up well, and put it in the freezer. The paper towel will absorb any ice crystals, and then your bread will be a better quality when you thaw it out. We all know about trying things like crackers. Maybe you've even seen pilot bread. Pilot bread is like a cracker, but it's a cracker that doesn't have any salt in it, and it works great for all kinds of toppings. Pilot bread also has a shelf life nearly forever. It doesn't get stale, it doesn't break up in the package like crackers do, and pilot bread is a great long-term option to have on hand. You may have also seen canned bread like the B&M bread. It also is already baked in the can. When you want to use the can of bread, you take off both ends and push it out, and you have a nice little loaf of bread. Tortillas are a great way to wrap up just about anything into a burrito or a taco. You can put everything in them that you could put on a slice of bread, and maybe you can even find like a pita, which is a little more bread-like, a little different than a tortilla, but still works great. Look for pizza crusts. Top your pizza crust with all kinds of things. It doesn't just have to be tomato sauce and cheese. Look in the refrigerator section. Can you find rolled up biscuits, cinnamon rolls, pizza doughs? Those are all great options to have. They have several months shelf life, and I have used them a few months past the expiration date, and they still worked fine. Head to the baking aisle. Look for things like muffin mixes, pancake mixes, things you can just add water and you can still bake it, fry it, cook it up, and have something like cornbread, blueberry muffins, all kinds of different things that you can find in the baking aisle that could substitute for the bread that you cannot find. You can also head over to the freezer section, and perhaps you can find the frozen loaves of Ezekiel bread. Ezekiel bread is a healthy bread that's only sold frozen, so you may not have thought to look for it in the freezer section. You can also look for frozen bread dough like Rhodes bread. It comes with frozen loaves of bread dough that you thaw it out, let it rise, and then you bake it, and then you have homemade bread.
You can also look in the freezer section for frozen waffles, and don't forget to stock up on basics like flour and yeast. And if you can't find the flour you want, look in the gluten-free section. Perhaps you can find the one-on-one flour by Bob's Red Mill that you can use exactly the same measurements as you would regular flour. If you want a tuna sandwich and you just don't have any bread, make a tuna salad. A simple pasta mix with your mayonnaise, your tuna, pickle relish, whatever you like. Then you can still enjoy the flavors that you're longing for.
There are a lot of different options. Don't panic if you go to the bread aisle and you can't find any bread. Search around the store, use an open mind. Think, what can I get that can help us get through these shortages? There are going to be many problems to overcome in our lives, but if we try to think, what can I find? What can I use? How can I substitute it? How can I make the best of a difficult situation? And you'll find that there are solutions that are handier than you might have thought. So if bread is a problem where you are, there's shortages and you just can't find it, look for some of these options. Stock up on some of the longer storage types of bread items so that you'll have things going forward if these shortages continue. It's always a great idea to keep extra food on hand, some of it to store for long term, so you'll have the things you need no matter what comes your way. If you have suggestions on other types of breads that you have found that you like to use, leave us a comment so we can learn from each other. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else who might like it, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.